Hi everyone, Heather here with astrologywithheather.com, and I am back with another weekly forecast. This one is for Monday, May 6th, all the way through to Sunday, May 12th of 2019. And this week is another activation of that Saturn-Pluto South Node energy. It just doesn't stop, does it? We've been having this conjunction coming very close between Saturn and Pluto for about a month now. Saturn and Pluto both stations, so they're still not moving very quickly. They were in a conjunction with the South Node as well, and they've been highlighted by a lot of square aspects, so challenging aspects to this pattern that's going on in the skies right now. And so we've been seeing that reflected on a more global scale, but also in our personal lives for a lot of us who have, more significant impacts from this transit in our natal charts. And so especially those who have a lot of energy in the cardinal signs like Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn, you might have been feeling this the most. You might be feeling more stressed out, more overburdened, more oppressed. You might have a lot of fears and anxieties coming up, during this time period. And it's going to continue a little bit this week, but luckily the activating planet is a more beneficial influence. It's the lesser benefic Venus. And so what this is going to do is this is actually going to bring up challenges surrounding money and self-worth and what we value, the way that we experience pleasure. It's going to bring up issues surrounding relationships. And the other thing that's happening that makes this a little bit nicer and a little bit easier, and that helps us to really overcome these challenges very quickly and in a less grueling sort of way, is that we'll actually have Venus at the same time that it's in square with Pluto in an exact trine with the planet Jupiter, which is the great benefic, which brings really beneficial, beautiful, harmonious energy into the mix. And so I'm actually going to pull up the image before I forget to do that. So this is what the astrology looks like on the day that this aspect comes exact, which is on Thursday. So on Tuesday, we have Saturn squaring we have Venus, which again rules relationships, love, pleasure. It rules things like money and material possessions, beauty, right, art. All of these themes are going to be coming up in a way that might feel a little bit challenging. So we might feel the burden of limitation and responsibility in our relationships. We might feel like we're limiting ourselves in some way when it comes to finances, when it comes to our ability to just kick back, relax, and do the things that we love to do because we love to do them. And this could be because of the responsibilities and the burdens that we've been really struggling with and struggling to release and let go of, that oppressive energy that we've been talking about and that restructuring that's been going on in the Capricorn area of our lives. So we're going through this process right now. For those who haven't watched my videos before or haven't been keeping up with the astrology these past few weeks, we're going through this process of really deep restructuring, of letting go of anything on an external and now especially an internal level that is burdening us and oppressing us and holding us back from moving forward and creating better, more adaptive structures in our lives moving forward. And so we're going through this purge of energy that's oppressive, and that energy is that is far past its expiration date, that we don't need any longer. Fears and past karma might be coming up right now to be released and let go. And so we've been going through this process for several weeks, and it's being activated again, but now it's showing up in a different way. It's looking at, what is holding us back from experiencing joy, from experiencing pleasure, from, enjoying this physical reality. What's holding us back from enjoying our relationships and our connections with other people? What's holding us back from, our financial success and having the material comforts and stability that we desire? All of these things might be coming up for us this week. And then on Wednesday, Mercury will come into an exact conjunction with Uranus, which is actually a nice energy. This is like a genius energy. So this is a day when we can get these really incredible and intense bursts of excitement and inspiration that cause us to make really snap, impulsive decisions, but that lead to important change that can really liberate us in a lot of different ways. And that energy of liberation and change is really, it really contrasts the energy that we're feeling in the other areas of our life, especially especially when it comes to the cardinal signs, Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra, where it feels more oppressive and it feels more caged up and like we need to break free from something. And we're working on doing that. But it takes time and it takes persistence and self-discipline, and it's going to take longer than we might want it to take in order to get it right. We don't want to just like purge everything and leave a giant mess behind when Saturn's involved, and especially in the sign of Capricorn, which is about taking personal responsibility for the structures that you've created or that you've enabled others to create that are imposed on you from the outside. And so that's really the energy that we're still working through here. But this Uranus energy can bring divine inspiration, bursts of really incredible insight that can really lead us to think about things in new, innovative, and exciting ways, and to deal with these issues, this oppression, this sort of difficult energy in new and exciting, innovative ways. And so it helps us to break free from that stuck, stagnant, oppressive energy through some sort of mental stimulation, some sort of new idea, some sort of really shocking, unusual communication that can come in and just sort of burst our bubble, and we realize that we've been thinking about things entirely the wrong way this whole time. We've been stuck in a pattern, in a rut of thinking about things in a certain way, and Uranus shakes us out of that rut. And so that's a really nice energy to tie in with what's going on here. But as you can see on Thursday, there is a really intense T-square forming. So not only is Venus coming into an exact square with Pluto that day, but we also have the moon coming into a conjunction with the North Node and then squaring Venus and opposing Pluto. And that's going to be happening all in the same day. And so this is forming a really intense T-square. This is going to be a very intense energy for a lot of people, where there's going to be a push and pull. There's going to be this energy of needing to break free of restrictive, limited relationships, restricting, limiting ideas about our value and what we value, restrictive, limiting ideas about money and finance and material possessions that are no longer serving us. So that way we can move into the direction of focusing on our roots, on what we value on a core level, on our emotional safety and security, on what matters most to us. And so it's going to be an interesting week. The energy is a little bit intense, but as you can see in this chart, if you know what you're looking at here, at least, as you can see in this chart, there is a really nice trine forming between Venus and the planet Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius. And so this is going to help us to maintain a sense of perspective and optimism, to be able to really see things fully and completely, to really take ourselves outside of the situation so we're not so immersed in it that we can't really think things through, or that we can't really see what's going to happen on the other side, the light at the end of the tunnel. That's all going to shift. And so we'll be able to, in anything that we're facing this week in these areas and within these themes that I just talked about, if we face these challenges head on and if we deal with them appropriately and effectively, then Jupiter is ensuring that there will be a lot of benefits and growth, especially on an internal level, because all of these planets are retrograde. So this is looking at internal growth. This is looking at our beliefs, right? And this is where it's taking a step outside of the situation and looking at what we truly believe in terms of the framework of reality. Do we believe that, everything is random and that these oppressive circumstances are just happening to us? Or do we believe that we have some control? Or do we believe that there's a divine plan that we are being led to follow, right? These types of questions can come up in a big way this week. And addressing these types of questions can really help you to gain a sense of perspective. So if you are struggling, because I know a lot of people are, I've reached out on Facebook to see what people are going through, and a lot of people, are having a hard time with these transits. And I mean, rightfully so, they're difficult, right? It's causing us to really have to go deep, do some soul searching, let go of things that we've been holding on to because we have an emotional or psychological connection to it, and it's been serving us for a certain amount of time. But now is a time of release, letting go, surrender, and a major restructuring. It's not just letting go, like I said before, like you're just like, screw it, and like leaving a giant mess. It's like, I have to figure out how to let this go and what I need to actively do and engage with and work on to let this go. And so that is the main energy for this week. Into the weekend, it'll be a little bit nicer. There's going to be some nice energy with the moon in the sign of Leo, making nice aspects to a lot of the different planets. And it's also going to be the sun in a really nice trine with Saturn, which is going to be highlighting this conjunction between Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node in a very positive way coming into the weekend. So we can see some of the results of what it is that we've been working on, and it'll help us to get that vantage point. So, just stick with it and hang in there if you are having a little bit of struggle midweek, because the weekend does bring some really nice energy. All right, and then I am going to get into the forecast for all 12 signs, but before I do, I just have a couple of very quick announcements. If you don't want to hear my announcements, you can always find the link to the timestamp in the comment section and click on your timestamp for your sign. But anyway, so I just wanted to make a couple of quick announcements. First and foremost, this one I'm really excited about. So I have opened up registration for my summer foundational astrology course, and this is a small group course. I only allow 12 people in, and it's already halfway full because I allowed my waitlist people from last time to have an opportunity to register first. So there are about 6 spaces left. It's a 6-week course. It's very in-depth and very interactive. And so my intention with this course is to give you the foundations of what you need in order to understand astrology and help you to tie it all in and integrate it and use it to read a chart and to do so very effectively. And the integration part is the most important component of this course, because that can be the part that's most difficult for people, and that's why it's going to be very interactive. It's about half lecture and half examples, and you actually engaging and doing charts and getting feedback and questions and answer and all that kind of stuff, and we're going to be working on your charts too. So if you want to sign up, I highly recommend doing so as soon as possible. The spaces are very limited because it is a small group setting, and the link to do so is down in the description below. It starts on June 13th, I believe, and so I'm super excited about that. And my Mastering Saturn webinar is actually happening next weekend, so you have one more week to register to get 30% off and to attend live. And so that's down in the description below as well. And as always, my solar return forecasts exist. If you want to get a forecast for your year ahead, the link to do that is down in the description below as well. All right, and then let's start with Aries here and Aries rising. And so I always do recommend that you listen to your rising sign first, sun sign is secondary, and then if you want a little bit extra, you can listen to your moon sign, but you have to sort of change the interpretation in your head, because that's going to be more of an internalized energy as opposed to things that are happening externally. And if you want to learn more about how to get more out of your general forecast that I do this week or each week, I did a video, I'm posting the link down in the description below for that too, where I talk about how to navigate these general forecasts so that way you can get the most detailed information and make the most out of it each week without having to pay for readings all the time. Although, it's okay if you want to pay for a reading, that's how I make my living, but I want you to get as much as you can out of these videos, that's why I do them. So you can check that out and then go back and watch this. All right, and so first and foremost, for Aries and for Aries rising, Venus is in your sign. And so if you're an Aries rising with or an Aries sun sign with your sun or rising around that 23rd degree, you're going to be feeling this very intensely. This is going to really challenge your self-worth and what you value in life, the way that you see yourself and the way that you interact and engage with people. Normally Venus on the ascendant or with the sun can make you more charismatic, more likable, more lovable, and it can make you feel better about yourself. It can improve your self-esteem. And it can totally still do that because Jupiter's in the mix. And so Jupiter is going to be trining your ascendant or trining your sun, especially if you have your sun, moon, rising, again, anywhere from 20 to, actually, I would say anywhere from like 18 to 26 degrees, because this is going to kind of be flowing through that whole area this week. You might feel more desirable. You might feel more like beautiful and more sensual and more interconnected, and you might feel like people are liking you and more drawn to you. But at the same time, there can be challenges. The challenges when it comes to people's relationship to you is going to be coming from higher up. It's going to be coming from people in positions of power and authority over you, people in your workplace or in your career. There could be some sort of challenge to your public status or public recognition. There could be a challenge to the income that comes in through the work that you're doing in your career, and that challenge could be posed by somebody in a position of power and authority, some sort of power struggle within a relationship. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, you can get a recognition. You might feel more likable, you might feel more desirable in other areas of life and in your day-to-day interactions. And this is a really great week for you to engage in anything that involves one-on-one connection in learning or adventure or travel, to sort of go out and have an adventure, to broaden your horizons, to have new experiences within partnership with somebody else. But there are going to be some challenges, and the challenge here is to let go of whatever's going on out there and to focus on what you truly love to do, to focus on experiencing joy and pleasure and engaging in the beauty of your surroundings. Put your feet on the earth, get grounded, and also focusing on what goes on after work, because that's really what's important right now. You're letting go of some sort of situation that's just causing a lot of strife and struggle and oppressive energy when it comes to your work or your career or your public status in some sort of way, in order to create space so you can focus on your roots, which is what matters most right now, is focusing on developing a really good home and family situation, connecting with the people that you care about most, be that whether that's your biological family or just, your soul family, your soul group, or the people in your immediate environment, your pets even. You're focusing on that, right? Focusing on what you come home to and the connections, the emotional connections that you create, through what you're moving into in that environment. And the other thing that's happening too, if you are having a little bit of issues with work, you can have a really brilliant flash of insight this week that can help you to create resources for yourself in a new, liberating, exciting way. Maybe you think of a side hustle so you don't have to work so much overtime. Maybe you think of an idea for a business that you can start or a way that you can invest your money, right? So thinking outside of the box this week when it comes to the way that you deal with your resources can help you to tackle a problem or an issue at work or with your financial situation. All right, and then for Taurus and for Taurus rising. So this energy here, so Venus is in your 12th house, which is the house of things that are hidden. So this could be some sort of issue involving a hidden relationship or hidden passions, hidden desires that maybe you feel afraid to express outwardly because you're afraid of what other people might think, or because these hidden desires, you're repressing them because you feel like they go against your belief systems, your philosophies, your ethical and moral value systems, which are being challenged and purged and reconstructed right now. And so there could be something going on there. This would actually be a really great week for you to spend time in solitude, seclusion, really getting to know someone who you care about on a deep personal level, especially with the trine from Jupiter being in your 8th house, which is the house of intimacy. It's the house of depth. It's the house of intensity. And so, both of these positive energies are happening in a way that's sort of hidden. It's outside of the day-to-day grind. It's outside of the day-to-day reality. And so you're going through, this inner experience right now, which can be really great for deepening intimacy, having a soul connection or forming a soul connection with somebody. This could be a really great time to increase your depth of understanding in an important relationship. This is also a time where your creativity can be enhanced, and you can create something from a place of depth and this sort of subjective understanding. And this is also a time too, especially for Taurus, if you have your sun or your rising within the first 3 degrees in the sign of Taurus, this is a week where you can get some really intense downloads and inspirations, and you can really change your mindset around a lot of things. This is really going to shake things up for you, especially on a mental plane, but this can also feel a little bit unnerving because this is a very overstimulating energy on a mental level, and it can feel overstimulating and kind of jarring to the nervous system. So you might find yourself, if you're especially at the first few degrees of Taurus, feeling a little bit anxious or a little bit on edge this week, and that's okay. It'll lighten up. It's just because of that activation. Uranus is going to be a little bit antsy on your ascendant anyway, but with Mercury there, Mercury moves very quickly. It causes you to think really quickly. You might have racing thoughts and your brain might be all over the place. You might feel very scattered, but you're also going to be getting really important insights and information that completely break you out of your current stagnant paradigm when it comes to the way that you navigate and move through life. For those who are born a little bit later on down the line, so Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, especially Taurus sun signs, if your sun is around 20 degrees in the sign of Taurus, you're actually going to be having your solar return this week, into the weekend especially. And you're going to have Saturn trining your sun and Pluto trining your sun as part of your solar return. And so this is going to be a very deeply transformative year for you in a very positive way, where you'll see some very slow, stabilizing, steady progress that feels very empowering, that helps you to accomplish and achieve the goals that you've been really working toward for quite some time now. And so this is a year of achievement for you. And this is a year of connecting to your true desires and your true nature and being yourself more authentically out in the world. And if you want to know more about this, you can always purchase your Taurus solar return forecast. It's over 2 hours long. The link is down in the description below, and so you'll get 2 full hours about what your solar return is going to represent. But just as a little short thing for those who have their Taurus sun sign around 20 degrees, so I would say anywhere from 17 to 23 degrees, you're going to be experiencing this very positive, powerful energy. It's going to be deeply regenerative, deeply restorative, deeply empowering. You're going to be so impressed at the end of this year with everything that you have accomplished, because it's a life-changing year in a very powerful way, because you're doing it yourself. You're pulling yourself up from the bootstraps, or however they phrase that, and you're making it happen, and it's going to happen easily for you if you're working at it. So it's a nice energy, and that's the energy of this weekend for you. So you might be, even if you're a Taurus rising, you're going to be feeling this energy of really working towards something very important. The other thing that's happening is that there's a need to come into balance. Letting go of your overarching beliefs that are oppressive and that are not serving you anymore is going to help you more on a day-to-day level to have the right mindset around everything that you're engaging with in terms of your thought processes and communication moving forward. All right, and then for Gemini and for Gemini rising. So this Venus energy is actually happening in your 11th house, which is the house of friends and social networks. There could be some sort of challenge or power struggle going on in the realm of friendship this week. And, this has been kind of going on and off for a little while now. Looking at anything involving relationships, but especially involving your relationship to groups of people and to the people that you surround yourself with by choice. And whether or not that's in alignment with what you truly need, want, and desire. Power struggles and different issues can come up in these types of relationships this week in order to be addressed. But if they are addressed, and if you face the conflicts head on, if that is something that's going on, or if there's an underlying tension that's kind of going on in a relationship that's not being addressed, like there's something going on beneath the surface, and there's some sort of psychological thing happening here with your friendship, if you address that and approach the person and speak to them, you can have a much more intimate, much deeper, much more beneficial and beautiful connection with this person moving forward, or these people. If it's a group of people, which it could even be part, like an organization that you're a part of, where you feel there's some sort of underlying tension that's not being addressed, and so you address it, and that brings you closer to the people in that group that matter most to you. And so Jupiter in the 7th house is indicating that this is a good week for relationships, so long as you are doing the work and addressing what's going on beneath the surface in order to create a better situation for yourself in these relationships and in these group relationships moving forward. The other thing that's going on here, of course, is that this does involve money struggles as well. There's a need to let go, and the 11th house also has an association with money traditionally. It's the gains that you get on a social level, but also on like a monetary level sometimes from the work that you put in in the 10th house. And you have Venus there, right? Venus is finance, Venus is money, it's material, it's enjoying the sensory experience and the physical reality. And this is forming this T-square on Thursday with Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node in your 8th house, and the moon with the North Node in your 2nd house of resources. And so this could indicate some sort of struggle where you need to let go of some sort of debt or some sort of oppressive situation involving finances, like we've talked about in previous weeks. And that's really going to help you to move forward into creating resources for yourself in your own unique way, going on a whole new path, moving into a whole new fated direction when it comes to your finances. And definitely journaling, meditating, visualizing, paying attention to your dreams this week will be important because you can get really interesting bursts of inspiration that come on a subconscious level that can help you to navigate what's going on now and to see things from a different perspective. All right, and then for Cancer and for Cancer rising, this energy here with the T-square is occurring in your 10th house. And so this is actually going to be impacting you pretty intensely, especially for Cancer, sun and rising, or moon signs. If your sun, moon, or rising is anywhere around, really anywhere from 18 to 26 degrees, because that's going to be all influence this week, and especially as we come into Thursday where that T-square is forming. But this is going to indicate where you need to let go of focusing so much on what other people's wants, needs, and desires, where you need to let go of oppressive circumstances in relationship, or you need to work on reconfiguring and transforming oppressive, burdensome, heavy energy in relationship. This is a great week to do something where it benefits your relationships, especially the ones you want to hold on to, through deep introspective work, and also, so this is what I'm saying here. So you're trying to create a balance between your relationships and what you truly need, want, and desire. You might be a little bit more selfish right now. You might be focusing on what you truly want and what you want to develop in life, and neglecting your relationships, or trying really hard to let go of relationships that are holding you back from doing that. On the other end of the spectrum, you might need to process some things. You might need to really work through issues in relationships that are holding you back in order to maintain that relationship, but to make space so you can focus on what you need and what you want to grow into. And so this is a great week to do something involving like therapy, or involving just going deep and going inward and figuring out why you have created certain oppressive circumstances, or why maybe you're holding on to oppressive circumstances in relationships, or in a work-related situation, or work-related relationships, especially based on fear. Maybe fear around, not having a support system. Maybe fear around not having the resources that you might need. There's a lot that could be coming up right now involving fears around contracts, agreements, relationships, and especially work-related and career-related contracts and relationships. And fear that, these relationships are going to prevent you from fully expressing yourself and experiencing life in the way that you want to. So, it can go either way there. Right now is more of a time of introspection, though, and really taking a good hard look at these circumstances, so that way you can figure out what your role is in creating the experience that you're having right now. The other thing, too, that is going on is that Jupiter is actually in a really nice trine with Venus. And so if you are addressing these issues, especially involving work and career and work-related projects and relationships, a lot of really great benefits can come through your work this week. So if you've been doing the inner work, and if you've been doing the outer work, and if you've been working really hard to form good connections and good bonds through your work, then this is a week where that can pay off for you in a financial way, and in a way of getting more recognition, or just having an easier time in your day-to-day work experience, because you put so much legwork in, and because you formed the right connections and let go of the ones that no longer serve you. This is also a week where really intense inspiration and insight can come through shocking and unexpected messages through friends and social networks and groups of people. Really great ideas can be stimulated through working with a group and getting the input of your friends and the people that you care about, and that can help you to break free from any stagnant, stuck energy there. All right, and then for Leo and Leo rising. So for Leo rising, this energy is happening in your 9th house with Venus. And so this is, a week where, we're still dealing with the oppressive, burdensome energy when it comes to our day-to-day lives, maybe health regimens and routines, or some sort of health issue, our day-to-day work experience, or our work in general, our relationships with coworkers. All of these things could be still feeling like they're weighing on you. This week, though, there could be some energy coming in from 9th house themes, which is you trying to come back into balance when it comes to your beliefs. Sort of resolve any sort of imbalance or difficulty when it comes to your beliefs about God, the universe, the world around you, your philosophies on life. And maybe, your philosophies are not in alignment with what's going on in your workspace. And so maybe you need to work on restructuring that area so it's more in alignment with your integrity, and so you feel like you're more in balance on that level. This would be a really great time for you to go on an adventure with somebody who you love and care about, because this is going to be in a really nice trine with Jupiter in your 5th house of romance. And so this is a great time to travel and to do something fun and exciting in partnership with somebody, and it doesn't even have to be a romantic partnership, just going with a friend and doing something really exciting and fun and adventurous that you've been wanting to do for quite some time, and just allowing yourself the space to experience joy and experience pleasure. If you've been working really hard on a day-to-day level in the day-to-day grind, which I'm sure you have with the configuration going on in your 6th house, this is a time where that work can pay off, and it can allow you some space to actually go out and enjoy life. And so that's what this week is really about, and that's where you're going to find solace if you are feeling stressed out and burdened in your day-to-day life and your day-to-day work routines and experience. There could be an energy of needing to let go of these oppressive structures in your day-to-day life and create space for yourself to spend more time in rest, solitude, seclusion, spending more time behind the scenes, spending more time focusing on your spiritual practice and what goes on, beyond just this physical reality. This is also a time where you can get really great, powerful downloads and insights and inspirations related to work, career, public status, work-related projects, or issues involving people in positions of power and authority. And so you can get some really interesting insight actually from people in positions of power and authority as well. So people who are your bosses, or people who you look to for inspiration because they are in a position of authority in your field. These are all things that can really bring to, or types of people that can really bring new, innovative, exciting information that shakes things up, challenges the status quo, and causes you to do things in a new way that feels exciting and liberating when it comes to your work. And then for Virgo and for Virgo rising, this energy with this T-square here, it's forming in your 8th and in your 5th house. There could be some sort of issue or burden or power struggle involving finances, and especially joint finances involving children, that type of thing, finances involving a love interest or romance. There's going to be some sort of struggle going on there. And this is a time, though, when you can really create deep intimacy in partnership with other people, especially deep intimacy in your family relationships and family ties and connections. Focusing on your family, focusing on your roots, focusing on your home and your place of living, focusing on going inward and doing the deep inner work to create better, more positive and more empowering relationships with your family members moving forward. That's something that's really supported for you this week. And if you're looking to do something that involves, needing some sort of outside source of resources or financing for your home, or for like a home related project, or for something involving a family member, now's a time when that can come in from the outside a little bit more easily, so you can kind of work on that. Let's see here. The other things that are going on, so this T-square is actually happening. So there's a need to come back into balance between really toiling away and working on creating a better structure for yourself, so that way you have more time for love and fun and play and joy and spontaneity and all of that, and focusing on connecting with groups of people, connecting with friends, connecting with the people that you care about. This is a good week to sort of move in that direction. There could be something that's preventing you from doing that, and that could be financial, or it could have to do with power struggles, especially power struggles involving friends or involving love interests. And so, breaking free from that in order to give yourself the space to move into this connection with a new group that's very fated, very karmic, new friends that you're meant to meet up with, and that you're meant to connect with in this lifetime. All of that energy is really amplified this week. The other thing too is that Mercury, with that conjunction to Uranus, is happening in your 9th house. The 9th house is the house of beliefs. It's the house of your philosophies on life, your moral and ethical value systems. It's the house of God, the universe, your connection with those types of energies. And it's also the house of adventure. And so you can have downloads and flashes of insight that cause you to change your belief systems in really really exciting, new, liberating ways. You can have information that comes in that's like, whoa, I didn't consider this before, and this changes my whole worldview. You can have unexpected circumstances that come up that allow you to find liberation and freedom through travel or through higher educational pursuits. And so paying attention to what's coming up for you, especially on a mental plane and especially through communication, can allow you those opportunities. All right, and then for Libra and for Libra rising. So this T-square here is happening in your fourth, your 10th, and your 7th house. And so this could be a week where there might be some power struggles involving finances or involving relationships that have to do with your work, or contracts that have to do with your work and your career and your public status, or that have to do with your home and your family situation, or a combination of both. This could be you needing to restructure something when it comes to your home, your place of living, in order to let go of oppressive, burdensome energies. This could be you needing to restructure your relationships with family members, and especially close relationships with family members, in order to create a better situation for yourself moving forward. This could be you having to let go of some family relationships in order to give you that peace of mind that you're seeking. This is a good week though if you are having any sort of power struggle or any sort of difficulty or intense energy or jealousy or possessiveness or difficulty of really any kind involving relationships, especially if it feels really intense for you. This is a time where open, honest communication can really help you to gain a sense of perspective and can help to relieve some of that burden and some of that energy. So talking it out is going to be really important this week. And also letting go of any sort of contracts or agreements that feel oppressive, that involve your home, that involve your place of living, that involve your family, that involve your work and your career status. Really taking care of business and getting your house in order and getting your relationships in order can really free up some energy so you can have some very positive growth and expansion when it comes to your career and your public reputation. So there's a lot of energy going on behind the scenes that's preventing you from growing and from achieving and accomplishing what you want to achieve on a career, on the career side of things. And so this is a good time to really work on that and work through, especially to work through power dynamics in relationships that are not working for you anymore. In terms of the conjunction between Mercury and Uranus, this is happening in your 8th house, which is, again, the house of power struggles and things that disempower you. So this could bring some sort of like divine inspiration, some really intense energy where you get a flash of insight or some sort of communication that comes in that helps you to see these power struggles or these issues or these dynamics in a new way that can feel very liberating and very empowering for you and cause you to make changes that liberate you and empower you moving forward. This could also be a flash of insight that helps you to create resources from an outside source through, maybe getting a loan that you've been wanting to get, maybe getting some sort of cashing in on an investment or making a new investment. Looking at a different, new, innovative, outside of the box way of dealing with taxes or debts or inheritance or something along those lines. So that's something where you can really cash in on that inspiration, and it can help to liberate you on a financial level, but also when it comes to power dynamics. For Scorpio and Scorpio rising, this energy is happening with the T-square in your 6th house, which is the house of work and daily routines. There's maybe some sort of struggle or difficulty or burden or limitation that's being imposed from 3rd house themes, which is communication, your thought processes, your ideas, maybe fears around speaking your mind when it comes to a coworker or a work-related situation that's creating an imbalance. And so now's the time where you really need to speak up and you really need to address these power struggles head on. You need to address the issues that are preventing you from feeling positive about your work, from getting pleasure and excitement and enjoyment through your work, from connecting with people on a more deep and intimate level through your work, from anything that's causing you to be in a state of imbalance when it comes to your health and your daily routines, especially when it's work related and especially when it has to do with your habits. Maybe you're working too hard. You got Aries, on the 6th house cusp, and you need to address that. You need to spend more time engaging in pleasure or doing things that are more creative in your work or connecting one-on-one with people and, engaging in that way. And figuring out ways to do this can really help you out on a financial level as well, because Venus will be in a really nice trine with Jupiter in your second house of finance. And so if you're addressing the issues with marketing, with communication, maybe you feel burdened with too many text messages and emails and phone calls, especially work-related text messages, emails, and phone calls, and you can't see the bigger picture. You can't step outside of the box and focus on, the bigger picture, the broader perspective. You can't grow and expand your horizons through new information, new insight, through experience, through higher education, through adventure, through travel, because you're focusing so much on the day-to-day. Now's a time where maybe you can unload some of that burden, or you can find somebody who can help you, create a relationship with somebody who can help you find a better balance there. And so you can create space to move into that adventurous area of life where you're growing and expanding and seeking greater wisdom again. And again, this can also help you out on a financial level as well. And so it can relieve some of that burden. So thinking about ways that you can work on letting go, and also letting go of anything internally in terms of thought processes and fears and anxieties that oppress you and prevent you from having really good relationships in your workspace. And then for that Mercury conjunction to Uranus, this can bring really powerful, just shocking, unexpected circumstances and insights through your closest relationships in marriage partnership, in business partnerships, friendships, or otherwise. So you can have really crazy messages that come in that change your viewpoint about a relationship, or that give you new insight that help liberate you from any stagnant energy in your relationships. And so this is a time to shake things up when it comes to all close personal relationships for Scorpio and Scorpio rising. For Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, this T-square is forming in your 5th, your 8th, and your 2nd house. And so now's the time to really look at where this really oppressive, burdensome energy when it comes to your finances or the way that you create resources is preventing you from enjoying yourself, from having romance, from experiencing joy and pleasure and play, from doing the things that you love to do because you love to do them. And so there's an imbalance going on where potentially you're not having the opportunities to enjoy yourself, to experience joy. And now's a time where you can work on letting go of your fears and anxieties, maybe around resources or a job situation that are preventing you from engaging in what you truly want to do in your life, and or preventing you from engaging in joy and having fun. And this is also going to free up opportunities for you to, first off, with the North Node and the Moon in the 8th house, there could be a need to strike a balance between working really, really hard and having this oppressive, really intense energy, toiling away, trying to pay off debts, trying to save money, trying to do this, that, and the other thing financially, where it just feels like a struggle, and allowing help to come in from the outside. So maybe allowing help to come in financially through a partnership, maybe allowing help to come in financially through a loan or through some sort of other source of income that is not necessarily through your own efforts and your own struggles and hard work right now. And so looking at that as a means to freeing up some time and energy so you can enjoy your life a little bit more. And if you do that, a lot of benefits can come to you on a personal level. You can feel personally much more optimistic, expansive, charismatic this week. This is a week where if you engage in things that cause you to experience joy, that if you engage in things that are pleasurable and fun for you, Jupiter on your ascendant, especially for Sagittarius between 20 and 26 degrees, you're going to have a really lucky, really good, beneficial week where internally you feel optimistic, you feel more expansive, you have a lot of ideas and really, really powerful, ambitious energies this week. And so it can be a very lucky, very positive week for Sagittarius, as long as you're able to move past some of this difficult energy that could be distracting you from enjoying yourself and indulging and experiencing pleasure and just living life and having adventures, because that's what Sagittarius likes to do. All right. And then for Capricorn and Capricorn rising. So this energy with the T-square is happening in your sign. And so this week could feel like a little bit more of a struggle for you, especially when it comes to your relationships, and especially when it comes to your family dynamics and family relationships and striking a balance in your home and what's going on behind the scenes and behind closed doors for you. But Saturn, the South Node, and Pluto, again, for those who have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, anywhere from, I would say, 18 to 26 degrees, you're going to be feeling this the most. And so this is going to be a time where you feel very there's a lot of heavy, burdensome, oppressive energy that you really need to let go of on a personal level. And maybe your responsibilities that you're holding yourself to, that maybe you don't need to hold yourself to, are preventing you from engaging in relationship, enjoying time with your partner, enjoying time with your friends, enjoying time with the people that you care about most. And so right now with the North Node in the 7th house, it's really all about growing and expanding into very fated karmic relationship dynamics. And if you're focusing so much energy on toiling away and carrying all this responsibility that maybe is not yours to carry, you're not going to be able to focus your energy on growth and expansion when it comes to the people that you care about and developing those relationships and forming new exciting relationships that are really meant to occur in this lifetime. The other thing too is with this square to Venus, there could be some sort of relationship dynamic with a family member or within the home that's preventing you from enjoying yourself or from moving forward into, really focusing on growth and expansion and positive energy in your relationships. This could be a need to restructure, remodel, or do something to create better balance and harmony and flow in terms of the aesthetics of your home or the energy of your home. And that could be a really good way to release this energy as well. This is a really great time to spend time at home in solitude, seclusion, engaging in your spiritual practices. A lot of really great benefits can come through that. And really great, powerful insights and flashes of information and downloads and exciting new information can come in the realm of your hobbies, your interests, the things that you love to do. So, if you're engaging in your passions and if you're doing things that you love this week, especially around Wednesday, it can bring new insight that can help liberate you and really take you out of this zone of feeling oppressed and feeling burdened. You can find new ways to experience joy, experience romance, experience play. This could also bring really important insights or important messages that are very shocking, out of the blue, out of nowhere, involving your children if you have any, involving your love interests if you have any. And so this could be a very exciting week where you're shaken out of your comfort zones in those areas, but it helps to provide new insight that you didn't think about before, that helps to break free from stagnant energy that needs to be shaken up a little bit. All right, and then for Aquarius and Aquarius rising. So this energy is happening with the T-square in your 3rd house. So Venus is in your 3rd house of communication. And so this could be a really good week especially for communication within groups of people, with friends, social networks, people that you surround yourself with by choice. And so that's where you're going to find solace. That's where you're going to feel good, is by connecting with the group, connecting with the people that you enjoy spending time with, and communicating with those people. So reaching out to friends, calling someone you haven't spoken to in a long time, going out with the group, joining a new group or something like that could be something that could be that could feel very good and be very beneficial to you in the long run. But there is sort of a difficult energy going on in your 12th house, which is the house of endings. So there could be some difficulty surrendering and letting go of something right now that could be preventing you from creating some sort of mental balance or equilibrium. You could feel like you're a little on edge, or that you're overthinking things, or that you're a little too fired up or too busy on a day-to-day basis to really, go inward and to focus on the things that you really value. And so what's going on here is that there's a need to come back into balance. So we talked about you're going through a major period of endings. You're purging a lot right now. Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node in your 12th house, there's a lot that you need to let go of. Letting go of any past karma, any past baggage, any past conditioning that's oppressive and burdensome and that's not allowing you the freedom to create the life that you want to create, that's going to be important to helping you to create a day-to-day experience that is more in alignment with what you want. It's going to help you to move into fated, very karmic new directions when it comes to your work, when it comes to your health and your daily routines, your relationships with coworkers. And so that's really where the energy can be, you can focus your energy moving forward in order to create something new and beneficial and something that's sort of fated that you're meant to be doing anyway, especially related to your work. The energy between Mercury and Uranus is happening in your 4th house. This could be a week where you get shocking, unexpected news from a family member or about a family member. This could be a week where really powerful new insight comes in through somebody that you care about. So, you could be talking with your mother or a family member, or your husband or wife, and new information can come in that completely changes your vantage point, especially as it relates to your family dynamics or your home or your living situation. This could also bring shocking news involving a living situation or a home, or this could bring this really powerful insight that causes you to change something about your home, or your setup, or to rearrange your furniture in a way that the energy flows better, or to change something about your living situation that you never thought about changing before. And when you change it, it helps you to feel much more free and liberated moving forward. And then finally, for Pisces and for Pisces rising, this T-square here is happening in your second house. So Venus is traveling through your second house of finance, which typically is really nice. It can bring more money in, but it can also cause you to be a little overly indulgent when it comes to finances. So spending on luxury items and things like that is more prevalent while Venus is transiting through your second house. But this T-square going on here, there could be something going on with a group dynamic with certain networks, especially on a social level, that feels very restrictive, limiting, where you're trying to let go and purge relationships that no longer serve you, and you're connecting with good, really solid, really long-lasting, trustworthy partnerships as a replacement for the ones that you're letting go of. And there could be something going on here, though, involving groups of people and some sort of power dynamic with a group and your finances. So maybe your finances are being messed with by a group or an organization and you didn't realize it. Maybe your friend owes you money and they're not paying you back. And so there could be something going on there, and you need to really address it this week. And if you address it, really great benefits can come to you through your career, through your public status, through your work, through some sort of recognition from somebody higher up. But you need to address what's limiting you, especially when it comes to the people that you're surrounding with. It could even be the beliefs of the people that you're surrounding yourself with, in the mindset. You could be surrounding yourself with people who believe that money is evil, and you're taking on that mindset and you're not creating resources for yourself. You're giving everything for free. You could be surrounding yourself with people who are very negative and very pessimistic when it comes to finances. And that's, again, changing your mindset and creating an imbalance. So you're not able to really go for and achieve what you want to achieve because of the mental blockages that are there. And so, this is a time to look at that for sure. But a lot of really great benefits can come this week through your work, especially if you're putting yourself out there, if you're putting yourself in a position to get recognition for the work that you're doing. Money can come in through that. So, just make sure you're not letting the Debbie Downers influence your mindset about it. And this is also a time to let go of caring so much about what other people think about what it is that you're doing on all levels, especially financially this week, but in general. So you can focus on the things that bring you joy, bring you pleasure, that you truly love to do, because that's the North Node that's being highlighted in the 5th house of fun, joy, hobbies, interests, pleasure. And then you also have this Mercury-Uranus conjunction in the 3rd house. I love Uranus in the 3rd house. It brings so many really intense insights and inspirations, and your mindset about everything over the course of the next 7 to 8 years will change. And this is going to highlight that. So you could get a shocking message that delivers new information that you never considered before. You could get really intense insight, inspiration from, a communication from the outside, from an email or a text message or a phone call. This could be you just getting inspiration, like a download, and it's like, this is completely new information to me. It completely changes my perspective. It changes my plans. It changes the way that I view the world on a day-to-day basis. This could be unexpected plans that come in for travel, an unexpected opportunity involving a vehicle or a neighbor or your community. Unexpected communications or unexpected circumstances with siblings and extended family members could come up this week that could liberate you and change things and change the dynamic of those relationships in a way that feels freeing and that gets rid of any stuck, stagnant energy. So that's for Pisces and for Pisces rising. And so that is all 12 signs, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you want to sign up for my course, I recommend doing that as soon as possible. The link is down in the description below. And I'll see a lot of you at my Saturn webinar next weekend, which I'm super excited about. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can always do so. I love connecting with all of you. The link to do that is in the description below. And yeah, and comment below. Let me know, if you have questions or what you're going through. I love reading your comments, and I do try my best to read as many as possible and respond to as many as possible, as you will know if you already are somebody who comments on my videos. All right, that's enough stuff. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.